I, 30 years old female, am married to my wonderful husband, 37 years old male. We have been married for 6.5 years and we don't have any kids. Currently we are in a friend group with 3 other couples. I'm not going to name them, so let's say couple A, B and C. Couple A has 2 sons, couple B and C are currently pregnant. The wife of couple A always thinks that when we visit them, we should take care of their children as they need time to relax. She always hands her second child to me and her first child to my husband. Couple B was always asking if we were okay after they revealed their pregnancy. They made us feel comfortable, and they never talked about the pregnancy. When they asked me to be the keeper of their baby's gender and help them with the gender reveal party, I was happy to help them. When couple C fell pregnant, they were showing that they were pregnant from day one. They shared their pregnancy news when they were 6 weeks pregnant. Now they are 14 weeks pregnant. They want to do their gender reveal at the end of October and want me to do their gender reveal. They also shared that they are having twins yesterday and want me to keep it a secret until the gender reveal. It hit me hard and made me emotional. I told my husband on the way home that they were having twins because I don't want him to get startled at the gender reveal day. Let me explain why he might get startled at the party. We have suffered many miscarriages throughout our 5 years of marriage. The first one was in 2017 at 19 weeks, the second one was in 2020 with twins at 8 weeks and 14 weeks, and the third one was in March of this year at 9 weeks. The last miscarriage happened the day before couple A's second son was born. We were quite devastated on losing our baby in March. We informed all our friends through text that we were miscarrying and we needed some time to heal. Around that time, couple B also fell pregnant, and they were considerate about our feelings, so they didn't reveal their pregnancy and told us at the end of July. It was hard for us, but we were happy for them. Couple A and C have never considered our feelings, only theirs. We went to visit couple A's baby when it was 11 days old, and she handed me her baby and disappeared for 1.5 hours. It was hard, but I held him and cared for him. After coming home, I cried, holding my husband. She never asked us how we were feeling or if we were okay. When she tells us to look after them, we do that and never say anything to them. It is hard for us to take care of them because we haven't healed through our losses. We don't say a thing and just look after their kids. Couple C is having the worst pregnancy symptoms and always says that she is having a hard time with this, and she doesn't want us to have these types of symptoms when we get pregnant. She knows our entire history. Today, I told couple C that I have told my husband that they were having twins and I need to consider his feelings. They were accusing me of ruining their surprise and not considering their feelings. Am I the jerk for telling my husband? Update. I have read all the comments. Firstly, I want to mention why I told couple C that I have told my husband about the twins. She called me every hour or so saying, "Don't tell your husband, we want to see his and other friends' surprise face." I just nodded for 4 times, but after that it was hard. I told her that I have told my husband about their twin pregnancy. It was triggering for me when she first told me, and a wave of emotion came. It was hard and I just wanted to be happy for her, so I didn't show it at that moment, and I didn't want my husband to feel that way in front of 50 people. For him, it will trigger some memories that we don't want on the happy day. I wanted to be on the safe side and had to consider his well-being, that's why I told him. After that, she flipped out, started crying, and told me I'm selfish. Her husband also joined and started telling me that I'm stuck in the past and have to let it go. They clearly told me they wanted a surprise, and I ruined it for them. I told them I just told my husband for his mental health, and he's not going to tell anyone about it, and ended the call. Couple C called today and started telling me how she wants her gender reveal and how to surprise everyone. I told her that I'm not comfortable doing their gender reveal. I asked her to ask any other friend if they are willing to do it. She started telling me I am a selfish witch and how I'm only thinking about myself and not about them. I kindly told her to think about how she would feel if she were in my place. I said, "Every day you tell us that you are going through so much pain and nobody understands you. Just in case, let's say, if you lose your twins, I don't want you to lose them. But just imagine, how would you and your husband feel? First, think about that, and after that, if you call me selfish, then I'm okay with it," and ended the call. As for couple A, I'm not contacting them and just staying silent for now. As for couple C, I just want them to understand that it is a big deal to lose a child, and I can't just let it go. If they are still inconsiderate about our feelings, then it's time to rethink our friendship. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. You're so not the idiot. But have you ever talked to couple A? Do so in a public place where kids clearly aren't allowed/expect, like a bar over drinks. Ask them why they keep handing you their kids. And AMP. Tell them how it makes you feel. Although I've never had a miscarriage, before I adopted my kid, I totally recommended BTW. People used to hand me their kids all the time. Maybe it's because they knew I loved kids and AMP didn't have any. Maybe it's because they knew eventually I'd grab play with the kid and AMP. It was their way of giving me permission and AMP, saying they trust me. Maybe they were exhausted and AMP needed a reprieve if only for a moment. My point is they'll never know how much you're hurting if you don't speak up. Should they know? Maybe. But then again, maybe they think they're doing you a favour by not mentioning your hardship and AMP, giving you to space to bond with kids. They should absolutely ask and AMP, not assume. But you have a voice and AMP must use it. Now back to this adoption thing. I absolutely love my child and AMP wholeheartedly recommended fostering to adopt. There are a lot of children who could use a loving family. I'm sorry for you loss and AMP. Difficulty you're experiencing becoming a mother. There are other ways if you choose. You have lots of options. Comment 2. Not the idiot given the history. If they can't understand how hard it is for you and your husband to keep putting on the happy face and taking responsibility for their parties, and that you might lean on each other for support, then they shouldn't have asked you for your help or told you anything. It's just cruel to rub this in your face. You were fine to tell your husband. I wouldn't have told them that though. But hindsight has 20/20 vision. What is done is done. Comment 3. Not the idiot, but I don't know why you told them anything. They're not being considerate of you. Taking care of your husbands and your feelings are important around couple A and AMP C because they will clearly never look out for yours. Also, stop letting them walk all over you. You don't have to take care of someone else's kids. It takes a village is not a contract. Couple A and AMP C sound like terrible friends. Maybe focus on couple B and try to find some other friends. Now, for the update. It's been a while since I last posted and a lot has changed. It started when my husband and I decided to have a heart-to-heart talk with couple A. We were nervous, but we knew we had to express our feelings. We explained our situation and how certain things were affecting us emotionally. We thought they wouldn't understand, but to our surprise, they were extremely supportive and understanding. They apologized for their insensitivity and insisted that they had never really understood the depth of our emotional pain. They offered to relieve us from looking after their children until we felt ready, which was a huge relief. Couple C, on the other hand, was a bit more complicated. After the whole gender reveal incident, things were tense. But one day I decided to pull up my socks and confront them. I met them at a cafe and expressed my feelings about their dismissive attitude towards our struggle. I explained that it was not about their twins, but about our emotional well-being. Again, I was shocked at their reaction. They listened to me quietly, then apologized profusely. They admitted they had been selfish and said they didn't realize how taxing their actions were on us. We've since agreed to communicate more openly and consider each other's feelings in the future. In the meantime, couple B continues to be our rock. They've been sensitive, considerate, and have done everything in their power to support us through our journey, including talking to couples A and C on our behalf when things got tough. Now, for the most heartwarming part of the update, my husband and I have decided to adopt. We've started the process and are currently waiting for approval. The hope of finally becoming parents has brought a new spark in our lives. The best part? All 3 couples are supportive and excited for us. They've even offered to help with the adoption process and preparations for the new addition to our family. This journey has taught us a lot about friendship, empathy, and understanding. We've realized that sometimes people might not understand your pain, not because they don't want to, but because they simply can't. The key is to communicate openly. Yes, it can be hard, and yes, it can be scary, but it's necessary. We're now in a much better place emotionally and are looking forward to the future with excitement and hope. Thank you to everyone who supported us and gave advice during the tough times. We're eternally grateful. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. It's commendable that you and your spouse took the initiative to communicate your feelings to couples A and C. Emotional vulnerability isn't easy, and it's great to hear that they were understanding and apologetic. It's also reassuring to know that couple B has been consistently supportive. What you're doing is not only fostering a healthier emotional environment for yourselves, but also encouraging open communication within your group of friends. As for adopting, that's a wonderful decision. It's going to be a beautiful journey, and it's heartening to see your friends excited and willing to help. However, make sure you're adopting for the right reasons and that you're prepared for the responsibility, because it'll be a lifelong commitment. Comment 2. No idiots here. It sounds like a tough emotional journey for you both, but it's great to see you've navigated it with grace and maturity. It's not an easy feat to confront others about their insensitivity, and it's even harder to express your feelings when you're going through a difficult time. However, remember that people aren't mind readers. It's possible that couples A and C didn't realize the extent of their insensitivity until you pointed it out, which is why open communication is so vital. On the subject of adoption, that's a noble decision, but don't forget to take some time to understand the complexities and challenges associated with it. It's not just about providing a home, but also about understanding and addressing the unique needs of the child. Comment 3. Not the idiot. It's important to express your feelings and not bottle them up. Though it might have been challenging, you and your spouse did the right thing by addressing the issue with couples A and C. Their apologies show that they value your friendship and are willing to make amends. Couple B's support is also noteworthy and says a lot about the kind of friends they are. Your decision to adopt is a wonderful step forward. It's not just about growing your family, but offering a loving, stable home to a child in need. Just ensure that this decision isn't a reaction to your recent emotional struggles, but a well-thought-out plan. Adoption is a lifelong journey that requires patience, resilience, and unconditional love. Now, for the next story. My parents live with me because I bought their house when they were going to lose it. They were going to lose it because of all the money they spent keeping my brother out of jail and keeping him in rehab. My brother is clean and sober now, married, with kids, religious, with a father-in-law that gave him a great job. He has never paid my parents back 1 cent. I live in the basement suite with my girlfriend and my dog. I make good money, and my parents deserve to have a good life. They did what they thought was best. My brother had us all over to his house for a BBQ. It was a good meal, and his kids are all right for being his offspring. He then proceeded to mock me for still living at home, smoking Zaza, and playing video games while living in sin. I told him to shut up and leave me out of whatever was going on. He said that he just knew I could be doing so much better if I applied myself and looked for guidance. I thanked him for the meal, and my girlfriend and I went to leave. He yelled that he was just telling me what I needed to hear to motivate me. I got upset, so I said I was motivated. I said that I liked to smoke Zaza and to drink, but that I paid for it myself with money I earned from a job. I never stole from our parents to pay for drugs. I said that I lived in the basement of a house I owned because I couldn't afford 2 houses, one for me and one for our parents, and that since they went into debt to pay for his lawyers and rehab, I was subsidizing his life. I said that my college fund went up his nose. I may be bitter. We left. I guess his wife, who knew everything, had never told her parents. My parents understand why I blew my top, but they think I should have kept it in until it was only family there. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Your brother has rewritten history in his head so that he's the better child. It allows him to hold himself up higher than everyone else, ignoring everything that you and your parents did, especially everything that you gave up. Honestly, the fact that you did such an amazing thing for your parents after they essentially forfeited your future for him and his drug habit speaks volumes about you. Your parents need to understand that keeping things in is what brought stuff to here. To them, losing their home because they were so focused on fixing your brother and giving him every possible chance that they didn't care what happened, even though he doesn't seem to care how any of that impacted anyone else, not the idiot. Comment 2. They think I should have kept it in until it was only family there. The in-laws are his family, and they have a right to know the kind of person who will be raising their grandkids. You're not the idiot, clearly. Your brother needs to drop his high and mighty act, and your parents need to put him on a plan to pay them, and in turn you, back. You stunted your life because your brother fricked up everyone else's, and every part of you, your brother and parents needs to come together and have that talk. Since he's doing so well now, he can start providing for those who provided this life for him. Comment 3. Your brother is a condescending, hypocritical AH. He knows exactly why you're living in the basement, because of him. Was he trying to look good in front of his in-laws? He obviously doesn't understand that calling you out in front of them, even if what he said had been true, would have been an AH move. But even more, expecting you to take it after everything he has done was not going to happen. Good for you. Not the idiot, not one bit. Now for the update. Last night, something remarkable happened. We were all gathered at our parents' house for a much-needed family dinner. Me, my girlfriend, our dog, and my brother with his wife. The same setting where we had had that tense confrontation a while back. The air was thick with anticipation. As I was helping Mum prepare dinner, my brother walked into the kitchen, a little hesitant. It was the first time in months he had initiated a conversation with me. He started off talking about his job, the weather, his recent trip out of town. Usual small talk, the typical avoidance tactic he uses when he's uncomfortable. I'll admit it was a bit awkward, but I let him speak, seeing a small change in his demeanour. Finally, he gulped down his drink and said he wanted to talk about that day at his place. He admitted he had been a jerk, that he was out of line to criticise me and my lifestyle. And then he did something none of us expected. He thanked me. He thanked me for stepping up when he was in a mess, for shouldering the burden that was initially his, for buying our parents' house so they wouldn't lose it because of his mistakes. He admitted that he had been bitter, envious even of how I had managed to be there for our parents when he couldn't. And he apologised for his words and actions. The room was silent. I was stunned. It was a lot to process. Looking at him during that moment, I saw a glimpse of the brother I had missed, the brother hidden behind layers of guilt and resentment. But he didn't stop there. He turned to our parents and promised to start repaying them, starting with a lump sum he'd saved up and then monthly instalments. He also offered to help with the mortgage payments on their house. Our parents were overwhelmed, Mum was teary-eyed, and Dad was speechless. And then there was his wife. She had been standing in the doorway, teary-eyed, and when he finished, she came over and hugged him. She admitted to knowing about his past for a while now, after he had confessed everything to her. They'd been attending therapy together, working through their issues, his past, and learning better communication. She thanked me for that day, for the outburst, saying it was a wake-up call they both needed. Sure, it's not a total 180. It's not all sunshine and rainbows now, but it's a start. It's a step towards resolution, healing, and maybe, just maybe, towards becoming the family we once were before everything got messed up. And that's more than I could have hoped for. Now for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. It's clear that you had to step up and take responsibility in a situation that was difficult for everyone. You did what you had to do for your family, and it's commendable. Your brother initiating an apology and expressing gratitude for your help is a sign of maturity and growth on his part, probably due in part to therapy. Remember, it's not about him repaying you, it's about him recognizing his past behavior and making a genuine effort to change. It seems like a positive step forward for your family. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Firstly, props to you for stepping up and helping your parents when they needed it. Secondly, it's good to hear that your brother and his wife are making progress in therapy. That's a huge step in the right direction. It's not really about the repayment, but the recognition and appreciation for what you've done. It's a great testament to your character and the positive influence you've had on your brother. Comment 3. Not the idiot. It's evident that you've been a pillar of support for your family. Your brother's apology and gratitude, coupled with his intent to repay you, shows that he's begun to understand the impact of his past behavior and is making amends. The fact that he and his wife are in therapy and working on their issues is a positive indication of their commitment to change. Remember that repayment isn't the end goal here. It's about healing and moving forward as a family. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.